Thanks for tuning into the Adam Carolla Show. You can watch the full show on YouTube. Just search Adam Carolla Show and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also get the podcast wherever you like to listen. And for extra content, ad-free episodes, and more, you can head over to our Substack and sign up today. Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. No choice but get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Comedian, political commentator, Arynne Wexler is joining me. She's got dates. She's touring, doing stand-up, and you can go to her website, ArynneWexler.com. It's ARYNNE, unusual spelling for Arynne, and then Wexler, pretty easy, WEX. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you start off, I hear you went to University of Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
Which is an Ivy League school, right?
Yeah, but don't hold it against me. No one's perfect.
I remember playing the University of Pennsylvania with Dr. Drew a million years ago, and he was very sick. For the weekend of travel, and like throwing up and had a fever and everything, and sort of had to drag him out on stage. But I remember being from North Hollywood. Ivy League to me was always, was Harvard and Brown, and like I knew about those places, but Yale, but I didn't know UPenn. It somehow gets. I mean, I'm from North Hollywood. I don't know anything, but that's a prestigious school.
It is. A lot of people also think it's Penn State. They'll talk to me about football. I'm like, no, not that Penn.
Right.
And I did go to Wharton undergrad, and you know who also went there?
Let's see. That person's name would be Kamala Harris.
No, it would be Donald Trump.
Oh, that's right. She worked at the McDonald's in Canada.
Yeah,
that's right. He went to Wharton.
What I love, though, is the president of Penn when I was there, was a very liberal woman named Amy Gutmann.
What?
And she actually wound up becoming ambassador to Germany under Biden, and she really thought Hillary was going to win, and she always wanted Penn to be like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, where they had all these presidents, that they could point to, and then we finally got a president from Penn.
Oh.
And it was Donald Trump, and so they wouldn't acknowledge it at all.
Now, Wharton is Harvard, right? Or is that Penn, too?
No, it's Penn. I went to Wharton.
Yeah,
undergrad.
Wharton. Yeah, you did Penn, and Wharton is Penn, too.
Yes, it's part of Penn.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was Harvard, but it was probably just Ivy League, someone said, and then I did my stupid
The people
math
you
again.
see on Wall Street.
Yeah, so it's good to have that background. You must have been a good student, and your parents probably devastated now, but had high hopes for you at some point.
No, they're happy with what I'm doing now.
They are?
Yes.
Oh, good.
But a lot of people thought I was very crazy to do this path when I first started, because out of school, I worked at a boutique investment bank named Goldman Sachs.
Never heard
of it. Yeah. And then from there, I worked in tech. For a while, I worked in AI before people knew what AI was, and but I was always like this. I was always known in tech and finance. In college, I was always the crazy, controversial, funny Republican girl. We used to say Republican before it became a dirty word.
Yes, now it's alt-right, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It takes a lot of work to do comedy. I kind of realize there's a work ethic issue. You don't have that problem because you're a good student and everything. Comedians are traditionally bad students, so they have a weak work ethic. But I was driving here, and I was just listening to Sirius satellite radio, and it was on the 101 Stern's second station, and they play all these flashbacks. They just play reruns of old stuff randomly, I guess. I just tuned it in, and it was from 2002, and it was Miss Howard Stern competition in Las Vegas, and I was listening to me from 2002 in Las Vegas for the Stern show, and then I had this flashback where I was like, what is it? I remember that day. I remember how it went. So I was working at night doing a radio show called Loveline from 10 to midnight every night. It was a syndicated show. And then I was working during the day I would have been working on the Man Show. But Stern called and he said, we're doing Miss Howard Stern in Vegas and we want you to be a part of it. And I said, well, I work at night at 10 o'clock at night. And then I also have to go to work in the morning. So I can't really go stay in Vegas for a day or two and do it. But what time are you guys taping it or something? And he said, oh, we'll start at like, I don't know, 5 in the afternoon or 6 in the afternoon. We'll go for 3 or 4 hours. I said, well, I think what I could do is drive to Vegas because I can't fly because there's not going to be any flights out or flights back or the schedule's not going to work. But I could drive to Vegas. Like if I left LA at noon, I could drive there and then be there by like 4:30 or 5 and then do your show from like 5 to 9 or 10 or something like that. Then I could go to an affiliate we have in Vegas and do Loveline from 10 p.m. to midnight. And then when I was done with that, I could just drive home. And so I left LA at noon and I got home about 5 in the morning and
Oh my God.
and I only did it because I wanted to do Stern show and there was no flights and I couldn't stay over or anything. But I also thought you got to kind of want to do that if you do stand up.
Yes. People don't realize, I didn't even realize how much work it is. I only started, I'll say this on your show, even though I've had so many people advise me not to say this, but I don't pretend. I only started doing stand-up 6 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you got all those viral clips up there
And it's
already.
really taken off. I mean, I'd like to think I wasn't always funny. Like as a child, I wasn't like the funny kid. I was like funny looking, which is why I'm funny now. But I was funny for a while. I've been doing funny videos on Instagram.
You're very attractive. So how is it you were funny looking when you were a kid?
I just had a normal, like I'm a kid of the early 90s. We were normal kids back then. We were awkward tweens. We read like silly, like people, like what was it, Teen People magazine and like 17 magazine. And like kids today also, like there's a whole other topic of how they skip from being like 6 years old to 26. But
I think all women feel awkward when they're 14, even though they're not. Like, or most
they're pretty
aren't.
girls, though. You see what, like, they're pretty girls in middle school and high
every
school.
goddamn time I've interviewed every model and whatever in the world, and they're always like, oh, I was so awkward when I was 15, and none of the boys like, and I go, that was all in your head, baby.
No, it wasn't in my head. If you
Not
asked,
you,
no,
maybe, but it was in Uma Thurman's head.
No, it wasn't in my head. I had a family friend say to me a few years ago, like, we definitely didn't think you'd turn out this well.
Oh, well, that's
like,
good.
I had braces for 4 years. I had a palate expander. But I always had a lot of friends. I had boyfriends. Like, I wasn't
Well, if you had boyfriends, then something was working.
It was the personality. It wasn't I appreciate the boys that liked me back then with the braces.
We didn't care about personality.
But also the look back then, it was different. It was like heroin chic, right? Early 2000s. It was a very different look. And I'm not thankful to the Kardashians for most things, but I am thankful that they made big lips, big brows, curves, like that they actually made that a thing. Because it was not, I like hated my lips growing up and my eyebrows. And now I get, people pay to have that. So
yeah,
it was a very different time. But yeah, no, working in comedy, people don't realize the performance element of it either. Like it's physically exhausting. I'm driving to places all the time the way you just described. You're waiting around. It's late at night,
Well, I mean, you have to want to do it. I went with a director from The Man Show. Her name was Beth Einhorn, and her and I were just friends.
I like how he added that. We were just friends.
We're just friends. Well, she was an attractive woman, and, I took her to Vegas all night.
That's true.
So that, people might think something was up. But Beth Einhorn and I were just friends, but she was a director. And she was like a ballsy, kind of funny, tough woman. Still is. And I picked her up at her house in Sherman Oaks at like noon. And like I said, we did the Vegas Odyssey, and then I dropped her off at her house at 5 in the morning. And when she got out of the car, she goes, Adam, she goes, you went to Vegas, you did Stern, you talked the whole time. Then you did Loveline, you talked the whole time. And in the car ride there and back, you talked the whole time. So you never stopped talking for the last 17 hours. Could have been your phone.
It was my phone, ignore it.
So I realized, yeah, I like talking. So it's good. Like, I don't get it. Like, when comedians or people like comedy, when you go, hey, don't you think that? And they go, I don't know. Who cares? Shut up. Like, I'm always like, well, you got to want to communicate if you're a comedian.
I think what I like the most is I love making people laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I realize that's what I'm always going for. Before I did stand up, even before I posted on social media, starting about like 2.5 years ago, I could be at a dinner with friends. I could be on a date. I could be wherever. And I'm always just trying to get the laugh out of someone.
Yeah.
And it really is a privilege to make people laugh. It feels like a gift. And like, I know people have, not everyone has an easy life. I think most people, like, life is full of friction, and it's great to be able to make people feel seen. Like, what we do also is different, because it's not just making people laugh. There are a lot of people in this country who feel like there's someone who isn't representing their point of view. So it's nice to do that while also making them laugh.
What's your background? Are you Jewish? Are you Catholic? What are you?
Wexler, yeah. So I know, but the first name throws you off, right? It's my black girl spelling.
Wexler, see, the thing about
It's not Wexner. It's not the Epstein files.
But it's Jewish.
It's very Jewish.
Yeah, except for, you have to understand, there are the, Bergs and the Steins, and there's the upper echelon of Jewish names.
That's not me.
But then, listen, there's Shapiro is a Jewish name, but it also sounds like a Japanese beer. It doesn't sound Jewish. Jewish normally is like Lipschultz and Bergs and Steins and stuff. So Wexler. Like, Wexler, I know is Jewish, but I don't think of it as and maybe it's an East Coast thing, because there's not a lot of Wexlers around here.
No, there aren't. But yes, I'm Ashkenazi Jew. People think I'm Sephardi sometimes, but I'm 100% Jewish.
So Jewish female conservative, not that common.
No, it's not common.
And stand-up, not very common.
I don't think it's common in most places. I mean, everyone who's an Orthodox Jew, not everyone, but I should say, like, more religious Jews are right-wing. But even among that, you still have a lot of women who are liberal-leaning, because that's just the woman's nature of being emotional.
Yeah, no, that's true. I also have a theory that, because it does come up, like, why are Jews, they don't preach what they practice, as my friend Dennis Prager would say. They're conservative, they're family-oriented, they're education-oriented, and then they go vote lefty bullshit that fucks all that up. And it's like, why aren't they talking about what they're actually, why aren't they voting their life? They're living a conservative life, and they vote very left-leaning. And I have a theory. I don't know.
What's your theory?
I got a couple theories involving the Jews. No, actually 3. All right. First is, the Jews have had problems historically with standing out and then getting into trouble and getting killed. I think around here, they just want to blend in and, like, be down with whatever the popular cause is.
That's a good theory.
And especially if you're going to work in LA and you're going to work in the industry, you're going to be out if you start wearing around a MAGA hat, right? But there is a element with Jews where they sort of keep their head down a little bit. Like, the number one keep your head down group or Asian. They just go, listen, they don't get up there and start screaming about representation. We don't need a Japanese chick running the fire department. You don't need anyone who looks like you in the city council. You just shut up, keep your head down, and kick everyone's ass scholastically, and you'll make more money than any of these people. And they do that. Asians even, and at least they used to, and they still do. Like, I'd go to school with Asians guy, and the guy was like named Sam Yamamoto or something, and I'd go, Sam? And your sister's name is Becky? And they're just giving them super easy Anglo names to try to get them to fit in and not make it hard to pronounce their real names and all that kind of stuff. So I think the Jews want to get along, and they've been persecuted and rounded up enough times to go, I just want to know which way the wind is blowing, and let's ride with these people this way, especially in LA, because you won't be able to work.
I don't think that's dissimilar from what I was going to say, which is that religious Jews overwhelmingly vote right wing and secular Jews overwhelmingly vote left wing.
Yes.
And there are more, Reform, which is basically Palestinian at this point, but you have like secular Jews, and there are way more of those than religious Jews, and a lot of people intermarrying. And so I think, to your point, those are the Jews that think, oh, let me support the pro-Palestine, like pro-Hamas movement. Let me be a self-hating Jew. Let me be an anti-Zionist. Not realizing, and a lot of these people actually realized, like in it was like pride marches and dyke marches where they wouldn't allow Jews to march with them, and these progressives were standing there in shock, saying, "What do you mean? I supported BLM, and I'm, all these progressive causes. Like I'm part of that." And they didn't understand why they were being kicked out of those movements. And so those are the same Jews that also think that, oh, I'll just assimilate. I'll just and not assimilate in the sense of, and like there's a lot of online chatter with like the neo-Nazis and the haters who will say something like, "Oh, you don't want to assimilate." I don't mean like assimilate, like be a part of the American fabric. I mean like pretending to not be Jewish and trying to shirk that identity. And I know a lot of Jews who are still who wound up becoming more right wing because they had that wake up call, especially after October 7th. But plenty of them, the ones I wouldn't know, are the ones that stay in that movement. So I agree with you. That's why. But it's not Jews. It's what I call ginos, right? Jews in name only. Because religious Jews are right wing.
Oh no, that I get, but
my synagogue, like 95% voted for Trump.
Religious Jews have given up on the get along in Hollywood and sort of get invited to the cocktail parties.
Yes.
So that's
I think about the Jews that write these shows, though, like the Nobody Wants This. It's the show about like the hot rabbi with Adam Brody and Kristen Bell. Disgusting show where you could see it's written by a Jew that doesn't know anything about Judaism.
I feel the same way when they do a script about carpentry. I'm going, that guy's holding a finish hammer and he's framing with it. What the hell?
I can't imagine the fury that you feel, the anger over that.
But much worse than whatever you're
And soon
feeling.
People are going to start hating on carpenters on Twitter the way they do hate on Jews. Yeah.
Well, so I have a second Jewish theory, which is, why do the blacks hate the Jews? And
well, because we hold a mirror up to what they should accomplish.
Oh, you're so correct. There's nothing.
And I get to say it because I have a black girl spelling for my name.
That's right.
So I can say whatever I want.
There's nothing that gets a reaction more than shame. And the black community is always talking about racism, but they're talking about slavery, and they always do this thing where it's like slavery was only 170 years ago, and it's like it was only Jim Crow was only they're trying to build this bridge to this atrocity of the past to explain their failure in the present. And the Jews are thriving in the present, and they have a shorter bridge to the Holocaust and many other atrocities. And that is a narrative that fucks up your black narrative.
Yes.
So you don't want, it's basically this. The black guy goes, the coach says, why can't you play this season? And black guy goes, because my back is sore. And then the Jew comes in and he goes, this guy played the whole season with a broken arm. And it fucks up the narrative. Not that you guys would excel at sports, but you know what I'm saying.
Totally. We own sports. We don't play sports.
He's right. So blacks then resent Jews for fucking with their narrative because anyone who's got two fucking brain cells to rub together when these guys are just talking about systemic this or the horrors of the past is going, well, the Jews are kicking ass and they've been historically oppressed.
Yeah, and don't forget that our first gay president, Barack Obama, he would always post around like Black History Month and show like photos from Selma, and he would actively cut out the rabbi.
Oh, really?
With Martin Luther King, like they forget Jews were killed. For standing with the black community.
Jews think if they can just ingratiate themselves into groups, everyone's going to like them, and it doesn't work that way.
Never works.
No.
No.
We're talking about a Mandami clip where he was talking
Speaking about gay Muslims, let's talk about Zohran Mamdani.
He was talking about the people of color. It's always this great thing where it's 2026 and they go, this impacts the black and brown and people of color, this community. And does anyone want to know why rent? So if rent is $1,500 and it's $1,500 for me and it's $1,500 for you and it's $1,500 for everybody, but you're black or Hispanic, so it impacts you more. Should we be talking about the price of rent, or should we ask why it impacts you more? Because it doesn't impact Asian and Jews and white guys. They just pay rent. But it does impact the black and Hispanic group. So their thing is like, what's going on with rent? And my question is the rent's steady. That's a constant. The part where you're being impacted, that's different. That's something else. So we should look why. All right. And I famously asked Gavin Newsom on this show, why? Why black and Hispanic? What's going on? He wouldn't answer, of course. It's my favorite clip of all time. But let's listen to Zohran talk about this. Now he's got a plan. He's going to get money from white people, and he's going to give it to black and brown people so they're not impacted anymore.
And while today's true cost of living measure confirms that the affordability crisis touches every corner of our city, we know that these effects are not applied evenly. So often, it is black and brown New Yorkers who are hit the hardest. This preliminary racial equity plan is the first step in developing a whole of government approach to tackling that reality. It is a plan that lays out these first steps to solve decades of neglect and discrimination. And it places the work of 45 city agencies within a singular framework.
All right, so it's impacting. By the way, I'm in California. $6 a gallon gas impacts Mexicans more than it impacts Jews, or affects Jews or Asians, because they drive trucks and they make a lot less money, and they don't drive electric cars because they got to work. So that's true. And there's something we could do about it, but they're not interested in that part of the impactfulness. This is just the first step. The next step is just going to be collecting the property of anyone who makes a living and just giving it to black and brown people.
Well, there's obviously so much wrong with what Mamdani said, but also the people he's mentioning, like BIPOC, the Black, Asian Pacific, Indigenous midget, like whatever he wants to talk about, these people are heavily subsidized by white and Jewish New Yorkers. Like he's talking about the people that take the most from the welfare state. And he doesn't use numbers. He doesn't use facts.
No.
A lot of these people, it's like the majority of subsidized housing in New York City is obviously Black and Hispanic, and a lot of it is illegal as well. So what is he even? This is just, to your point, it's like just for government to take more control. I've
said this a million times, and everyone thinks I'm a douche, but sometimes people go to me in the past, they would go, what's your charity? What are you doing? What charities do you give to? I go, I don't really give to any charities. And they go, you don't? I give to charities. I go, oh, okay. Well, my charities, I pay $1 million a year in taxes, and then everyone gets to be on my roll. They get to use my stuff. And they go, huh? What's that mean? I give to the March of Dimes. I go, listen, you're a fucking school teacher. What do you pay a year? $8,000? Okay, you pay $8,000. I pay $1 million. So how much road do we get paved with your fucking $8,000, and how many new schools get built, and how many after-school programs do you pay for? So your deal is you give $8,000, and that money just gets whacked up and spread out. It could be the military, it could be FEMA, everything. And you pay $8,000. We whack up your measly $8,000 versus my $1 million, but you give $60 every 3 months to the March of Dimes, and now you're fucking better than I am? Shut up.
I'm trying to calculate how much of that is cap gains. I'm trying to figure out how much you make every year.
You choose. You choose.
I'm just doing the math here really fast.
Choose.
I was like, oh, they could have sent a nicer car for me. No, I'm kidding.
You Wharton choose.
But you should be thankful that you're not a billionaire, because now they're trying to do the billionaires tax in California. They're losing everybody.
I'll play me and Gavin just a minute of it just so we can have fun. He tried to do the black and brown checking account people in here, and
He's so annoying.
Oh, God, this is him at his best, though. This is him.
Look down the road 6 months. Yes, your husband lost his job. That's why you need to sock away some money when he's gainfully employed. Yes, they foreclosed on your home. That's why you need to have a network, a community, friends, family members, money put away.
I got it, but think about
Don't
Adam,
have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a check.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
Why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in
Why-
check cashing places.
But I want to
and
know
these
why
payday
those
lenders
groups,
taking
why
advantage.
those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of it just happens to be that we can
So
talk
they're
about
flawed?
this. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're strong.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but I'm
why'd you
giving
bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all
Why?
socioeconomic.
Okay, so everybody is.
everybody's struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks.
The face of welfare is not an African American family.
so it's
not
Asian, Jewish, it's all of them.
Caucasian. It's
Okay,
a lot of
so
folks
we're all
in society.
struggling.
A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay.
Amazing.
Factor. You're hungry, tired. There's some greens and chicken in the fridge. You should cook, and you just don't have it in you. For me, eating healthy isn't a willpower problem. It's a setup problem. That was until I found Factor. Factor solves that by delivering fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs straight to your door. My favorite is the roasted garlic chicken. So good. And it's got solid protein, fresh veggies, and I can heat it in 2 minutes and I'm good. Every meal uses lean protein, colorful veggies, whole foods, healthy fats. Ready in just 2 minutes. Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers so you can actually eat well this spring. It's Factor, right, Dawson?
Head to factormeals.com/ACS50OFF and use code ACS50OFF to get 50% off and free daily greens per box. With new subscriptions only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details.
Fast Growing Trees. Did you know Fast Growing Trees is America's largest and most trusted online nursery? They have thousands of trees and plants and over 2 million happy customers. They have all the plants your yard needs, grown with care and guaranteed to arrive healthy. I've moved around a lot, and Fast Growing Trees helps me make my dream yard every time. I'm moving again, and I'm using Fast Growing Trees again. All you have to do is just click, order, and grow. I recently just ordered some more, and my family, well, they couldn't be happier. It's a great look. It's Fast Growing Trees. Right, Dawson?
Right now, they have great deals on spring planting essentials, up to half off on select plants. And listeners to our show get 20% off their first purchase when using the code ADAM at checkout. That's an additional 20% off better plants and better growing at fastgrowingtrees.com. Using the code ADAM at checkout, fastgrowingtrees.com, code ADAM. Now's the perfect time to plant. Let's grow together. Use ADAM and save today. Offer valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
He's a fucking idiot. It's basically
No, he's not an idiot. You're wrong.
Well, hold on. He's
a liar.
Well, he's a liar. He brings up a problem, and then when I ask him to try to solve it, he says it happens to be that way,
Right.
which is not really. It's like saying, I'm a politician. What's going on? There's a big crack in the dam. What are you going to do to fix it? It just happens to be a crack. And well, what do we need you for, by the way, if you're just going to bring up shit that's wrong and then have no solutions for it? Mm-hmm. But yes, he's a sociopathic idiot because he doesn't understand what he sounds like.
I don't know if I agree with you that he doesn't know what he sounds like. I think he's like a sociopathic liar.
Well, yeah, he is a sociopathic liar.
And he seems pretty suave to me. Like, I think a big mistake we can make on the right is just, pretending that these people can't win. And
Yes, no, I
Democrats are
agree.
very good at getting people to vote and getting votes in, however you think that happens. You know,
I suppose. I guess when I say idiot, I don't mean dumb. What I mean is he doesn't have the ability to hear himself when he speaks, and so he says a lot of stuff that gets thrown back in his face because he doesn't monitor himself correctly or clearly when he's speaking.
well, I think he's an idiot in that he thinks that this is the way to live his life, and the things that
Yes.
he's making his causes, like that makes you an idiot. It makes you a bad person.
Yes.
Because he's pretending to be a good person, and what he's actually doing is making everybody worse off. And
Yes.
that's a problem.
He's pretending to be a good person and hurting a lot of people and
Yes.
killing people too
Yes.
as well. So it's sort of like your policies are killing people in the streets, but yet they break out in applause when you go in front of the dais and talk to like-minded idiots.
Yes. But think about it. That's a lot of the left. It's just a bunch of clapping seals that will see him go on stage and say, we care about, diversity and equity, including, like, that's what we care about. And people have such short memories. Like, everyone has TikTok brain and goldfish memory, and no one's going to remember the Palisades fire. And also, it was very specific to California. Like, I see Gavin Newsom as a serious threat.
Well, certainly in that there's nobody else on the bench, really. I mean, Kamala Harris, who actually is a dope. So she's basically the unskilled version of Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a sociopath and he's a liar, but he's skilled at it.
Yes.
She's a sociopath and a liar, and she's unskilled
Yes.
at it. So the skilled, I always say they're both magicians. They're not warlocks. They don't have any powers. It's just sleight of hand, but she's clumsy with
Yes.
her sleight of hand. He's doing the same sleight of hand, which is none of this is ever going to happen. Whatever it is you're promising and all the nonsense about people living with dignity and, a seat at the table, it's all just gibberish bullshit and nothing ever comes out the other end. But he's much better at selling his gibberish bullshit, and she's unskilled at it.
Yes, well, it was 6 years ago. He was at the French Laundry during COVID when people's grandparents were dying by themselves in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
And he's still he's
Nobody cares.
He shouldn't be. Nobody cares. He shouldn't be in politics.
The thing about Californians is they all bought into COVID and listened to him, and they were duped. And so basically, here's what Californians are. All right, I just thought of this. They're like somebody who got ripped off in some sort of timeshare thing, right? Let's just say you and I were a couple, and you said,
He would be so lucky.
yeah, be a good day. But I said, I'm going to go down and get involved with this timeshare, and then you would go, don't do it. And then I would go, I know what I'm doing, Miss Wharton School, because I got something called Street Smarts. And you can show me all the degrees you want with your business and your finance. I know what I'm doing. I got a good feeling about this, and I'm never wrong. And I got myself into this timeshare. And the timeshare ended up being a ripoff, and there's big HOAs, and I never used the thing. And then you'd come up to me and go, how's that timeshare going for you? And I'd go, just fine. I like my timeshare. Thank you very much. Because now it's an ego involved.
Yes.
And so all the people that got duped by COVID and all the people that got lied to by this hack and all these people who told their neighbors to pull their mask up or tattled on them for walking down the horse trail or alone on the beach, you idiots got duped. You were wrong, and you have to go find a mirror and figure out what else you're wrong about. But you don't want to do that because you're weak and you don't have character and you're a coward. And so everyone goes, why isn't anyone apologizing for all the COVID bullshit? Because they're the people who bought the timeshare.
Yeah.
And they don't want to say, you're right, I was wrong. You told me so. I wouldn't listen. And next time something comes along, maybe I'll shut up and I'll let you make the financial decisions.
Yes.
They don't want to admit it. So they have to keep voting for the guy who was wrong about COVID, who fucked their lives up, because to do something else would be to admit they were wrong, and nobody wants to do that on the left.
I think that's right. But I also think that's why I think we're in a lot of trouble in the next few years because think about it. Like Trump won in 2024 with the widest tent we've ever seen. We had Elon, we had the tech bros, and we had Maha. And we had all these mommies. I went to these events for Maha before the election and after, and these are liberal women. These are the classic suburban mom that because what the left is really good at is convincing, especially women, that if you have empathy, if you're a good person and a nice person, you don't get to vote for the right. You don't get to vote for a Republican candidate.
Yeah,
and
things were mean.
Yeah, things were so bad in 2024. Just think, I was ready to get sent to the re-education gulags. Were you? Like, I was like, this is if things don't go our way, we're in a lot of trouble. We're going like civilization goes to the dark ages if Kamala wins, and we're all going to have to use pronouns, and we're all going to be forced to watch bad SNL skits, and we're going to have to pretend to laugh, and it's going to be horrible. And these mothers had their kids coming home from school saying, there's a kid in my class that identifies as a furry and is shitting in a litter box in the bathroom. And it finally gave these, especially women, permission in the privacy of a voting booth where you should just vote for whoever you think is right. But like, the left is so good at getting into your head, even when no one is around and no one is watching. And so that's why people voted for the right. And things are much better under Trump, but things are still rocky. We're sitting here right now. We'll see what happens with Iran this week. We'll see where the economy is in a couple of years. But things are going to be, even if they're worse than they are today, wherever they are, they're going to be better than they were in 2024 when we were voting. And I don't think the average person thinks, things are better. Why don't I vote for the side that made things better than they were before? I think it takes away the pressure and the social permission of voting for the right. And so more people will sit at home, or they'll think, like things are okay. Like in New York City, I think there are many reasons why Zohran Mamdani won, including foreign funding, billionaire funding. There's so many reasons why. And the fact that, but a lot of it is that people sat at home because things were better under Adams after Trump. Things were really bad under Adams at the beginning, Eric Adams. And then after Trump was inaugurated, he and Adams had a meeting, and Eric Adams basically started leading like a Trump-esque policy in New York City. Things were much better. The streets got cleaner. Things felt safer. And then Zohran Mamdani gets elected. So I see New York City as a warning for what can happen with the presidency.
Well, I think that was pretty spot on. There's also kind of a blackmail component to this, which doesn't bode well for the Republicans, which is the left literally has tantrums when the right wins, and they make everything a battle and everything's insanity. And it's basically like they go, you want any more of this ICE chaos out there? You see what's going on in the streets? You see what happens when you send ICE out? It's like, well, if you just stay the fuck home and let them do their fucking job, then no, there wouldn't be chaos. The chaos is your fat white ass getting out there and wrestling with them, and thus we have chaos. And so I don't say it's in a charter, it's written down anywhere, but it is understood, and anyone who's been married understands this, where you just go, fuck it, man. I'm tired of arguing. I'm just fucking letting it. But she's wrong. She's wrong, or he's wrong. Rarely the case. But someone's wrong, and the other person goes, I don't care. I'm eating shit. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I can't fucking deal with it. Anybody who's had 2 kids, I have twins, girl, boy. My girl was a royal pain in the ass growing up. And
love her.
She's great now.
She sounds great.
She's fucking fantastic, but she's fucking going for it, man. I talk to her. Every time I talk to her, I'm like, where were you? I went skydiving. Okay, where are you today? Disneyland. Where are you today? I'm at the country club. Okay. Where are you, Dad? I'm going to work. I'm working. So you can go skydiving and go to the country club. But she goes for it. My son was super easy. Super laid back. Still is. That's their personality.
Yeah.
And she'd start having a fit about something. And, my son would be like, well, she rode in the front on the way out to the beach, and now she wants to ride in the front seat that's not fair. We have to trade on. And I'd go, I know. I don't want to fucking hear it anymore.
Yes.
Just fucking get in the back.
Yes.
But I have to go in the back on the way there and on the way back from the beach. I get it. It's not fair. I just don't want to deal with this shit anymore.
Yes.
And I think the the left is very good at this. They're such fucking belly aching pussy whiners that they never fucking shut up. And half their pitch is like, don't you want to just go back to normal? You mean, here's what normal is: wide open border, and you tax the fuck out of everyone, but no one is complaining. Yeah.
Yes.
So we'd like you to shut up. So if we give you Gavin Newsom, he's going to ruin the country, but you guys will shut up for 4 years so we can fucking make a drive back from the beach and not go insane. A lot of people take that.
Yeah. I've also just never subscribed to the idea of, when people said, especially after 2020, it's like, oh, we're the silent majority versus the loud minority. I don't know why being in the majority makes you right. And I actually think most of history shows that a lot of times the people who are good and right are not necessarily the majority. I think the majority is for masses who think in the same way. And I think that's something the right struggles with a lot of things. We also, we got the culture back for 2.5 seconds, and now we're, not really cool again. We were really cool with, our black, the dark MAGA hats and everything. And now we're getting, pretty uptight and, unfunny and cringe again, which is disappointing to see, and part of why I try to do comedy to make it lighthearted again. But, I don't know, the left, they have the culture. Liberals are good at that. They're good at being cooler.
Well, they don't. I mean, they got a 75-year head start. You know what I mean? People are where are all the funny Republican comedians? And it's well, they didn't start doing it for a long time. It was, Jon Stewart's been at it for a long time. They sort of, it's sort of like soccer. Our country sucked at soccer for a long time just because everyone played soccer around the world and we played baseball.
Do you think that's it, though? I think we have different personalities. I think the world, it's we should have male and female, and I'll say it, we should have liberal and conservative. I just wish we had less of the liberal. But I think that there is a healthy balance. I want my interior designer of a house to be a liberal. I don't want a Republican decorating my house. It won't look as nice. There's the joke that we've been saying for a few years, you want your barista to have purple hair and it's going to be a great coffee. So
Right.
I think that there are things the left is good at the arts. They're also really good at they build institutions that we don't you just have to call a spade a spade. I'm not saying it's good, but how is it that they took over universities? Because Republicans gave up on universities. We just walked away.
Well, for a few things. Agreed. I mean, comedy's more cerebral and it's a little, it's not physical. And the guys I know that are sort of on the right or more the Pete Hegseth, let's do push-ups, let's get in the octagon, let's drive a Jeep over a hill, they're tactile, physical. They don't sit around and think about stuff. They go do shit, and they're literally outdoors men.
Yeah.
It's they're men and they're outdoor and they hunt, they fish and they camp and that whole thing. That's their world, but that's not sitting around in your Brooklyn apartment writing jokes, So there's a little bit of that, but it's also, they were never, I worked in the trades. Trades guys are all right-wing.
Yes.
They don't really know it, but they're practical people, and practical people end up being right-wing because they have to deal with dangerous things with blades on them spinning around, and they can have feelings about putting a barn up. They have to go fucking put the barn up, you know what I mean? So they live in a very tactile, sort of real gravity-laden world. And also they have to assess risk all the time, which the left doesn't do. The left's COVID's come around. Well, everyone go home and stay in your house. Well, what about work? Well, don't work.
Yes.
Well, but how do you feed your family? We'll give you food and you stay home. Well, what about people? What, don't you want to go to Trader Joe's? Well, yeah. Someone should go work at Trader Joe's, and then I'll go back in my house. They have this wild, unrealistic, insane version. Everything for them is about safety, and it's hey, if you want to build a bridge, some point someone's gonna have to get up and do shit that ain't safe. But I do think that it just never was the realm of the conservative to do comedy, and then Hollywood made it so that if you were conservative, you got shunned. So people kind of learn that part. So there's there's a learning curve mixed with I agree, an attitudinal thing where it's just not really, I don't know a lot of conservative people that have wildly wicked senses of humor. And they're also probably less verbal. So the people that I grew up with are the more sort of go out hunting and fishing kind of guys. They don't talk about stuff that much. They just kind of do it.
Yeah. Well, to your point, I have two things to say. The first is it's like you want the conservative to build your house and you want the liberal to decorate it.
Yeah.
Those are the two brains.
I agree.
And then you have a completed house.
Yes.
So you need conservatives or people on the right who are practical, who understand danger and risk and getting the job done. And then you need the whimsical dreamer who can decorate a space in a way that you wouldn't know how to do. You know,
sorry, you don't need them.
No, I know.
It's
you don't
nice
know.
to have
you
them.
Need the house.
You need the fucking house.
You need the house.
You don't need the end table.
But at the end of the day, I think the world works in balance.
I agree with you.
And so, like, I don't want a world full of me's because I'm a pretty, like, abrasive, blunt, person.
You need the people to build the theater on the right, and they need the people on the left to create the film that plays in the theater.
Yes, exactly. And I'm saying liberals are different than leftists. The problem is the left is becoming overwhelmed by leftists, not liberals. And that's why so many liberals have started to come to the right, especially in 2024. I have a lot of friends who are just really in the middle, especially from New York, because they're business people, but from New York, and they'll kind of go either way. And they voted for Trump because of that reason. But what I will say about comedy is I also, it's a bit theatrical, isn't it? Like with comedy, but the reason why comedy has been struggling the last few years and all these late shows are irrelevant and the ratings are like through the floor is because comedy is just the truth with good timing. And so if you're not saying the truth, it's not funny. But you get these, a lot of the audiences now, especially Gen Z, they expect you to just be saying like their truths that they could like snap to, not laugh to. I actually saw Bill Burr last night at an event and he performed and he was so funny. And I was shocked by how I'd say 95% of what he said, except for a dig at Trump. And it wasn't even that bad of it. It wasn't a big dig, but his comedy was something that you and I would say. He said like these ugly women, feminists, and he had a joke about how black people love God, but God doesn't seem to love them back as much. And like he said things that like the audience, it was a pretty Gen Z audience, Gen Z heavy, and they weren't laughing at that. Because they just feel like they're supposed to be offended. But, but he was just being a comic. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I like Bill Burr, and I think he's super funny. And then I think he took like kind of a weird left turn for a while.
Yes.
And then I hadn't heard that much from him other than he got a little woke and left or something. And now is he tacking back or?
I was wondering the same thing last night. I didn't get to look into recent clips between last night and now, but I was really pleasantly surprised. And I thought he does what you and I try to do, or what you do, what I'm trying to do, which is to even have someone who has a totally different political opinion. Like I'm sitting there thinking, this is Bill Burr, he went woke, and I'm laughing my ass off the whole time, right? And that like it's undeniably funny, and it's true enough that I can laugh at it. Even if I don't fully agree with it, I can laugh.
So now we're in a weird stage, and I'll play you another clip because there's things I can't figure out about the Newsoms of the world. And his wife is great, man. She's the gift that keeps giving, man. She is a treasure chest of horrible short form clips on the internet that everyone's digging up. But I've asked this question, but you went to Wharton and you studied.
I love how many times you said it. Thank you so much.
We'd
like to thank our sponsors for today's show, the Wharton School of Finance. Thank you.
I've said a million times. I used to say Dr. Drew all the time, but I've said a million times. I don't get why there's so much controversy about economics. It should be a settled science by now. There's a lot of like, well, some guys say this, and then some guys are supply side guys, and then some guys say we can just print our way out of a recession. And I'm like,
God, I know.
I'm like, can't we just figure out what works and doesn't work? Like, isn't it pretty apparent that the communism does not work at all economically. Like, it always turns into a shit show. Like, can we just agree on certain things? Like, people need incentive to leave the house, and it's real easy stuff. Like, it's straightforward. It's kind of diet. It's like I'm a nutritionist going, well, diet and exercise. You want to, and someone's going, well, not so fast, Johnny. And I'm like, can we just agree on diet and exercise? They'll help you lose weight? And like, no, we cannot. We're going to argue about it. And it's like, why, as a former builder, there were just rules. Stuff worked, stuff didn't work. There were certain size beams and headers for certain size openings, and you'd go, I want a 12-foot opening, but I only want to use a 4x4. Someone go, not going to work. Got to be a 4x12 if you want to go that big. That kind of, like, there were just rules. And people followed them, and you got your house built, and everyone understood it. I don't get with the economics, and maybe it's it's a leftist thing, because someone said to Obama once, they said, like, why don't you just lower the corporate tax, and then you end up getting more business, and then you end up getting more tax revenue. And he goes, I get it, but I don't like the optics of it. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, so you're going to do a thing that punishes the corporations and you take in less money? Yes, because I'm an asshole. That's what I'm going to do. So I kind of get that part. But, like, when you hear Liz Warren talking about taking Elon's money and giving it to these people, like, can any economist just go, that shit never works?
No, I'll tell you the problem. Well, first, in Econ 101, the first thing they say, you learn a few phrases, and one is an assumption, which is assume the consumer is rational. That's the line they always use in every chart in an Econ 101 class. And that drove me nuts, because I would sit there in the 11th grade and I was like, what do you mean assume the consumer is rational? Like, they're not rational. People are deeply irrational, and that's why you get the whole field of behavioral economics, which then people in like other fields disagree with. I think there are pros and cons to behavioral econ, and there are great books about it. And but that assumes that people are irrational, and it looks into why people act the way they do.
Well, I mean, for me, Thomas Sowell, and I'll paraphrase, but he basically said, look, the best you can do with your money is you spending your money on yourself. And then the second best you can do is you spend your money on a gift for somebody you know. And the worst you can do is spending someone else's money on somebody you don't know. And that's where you end up with the Leering Center.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
That's where you end up with this crazy government shit. It's not their money. Nobody cares. No accountability. All out the window. And so in the middle of this era where we're uncovering daily insane waste, fraud, and abuse, we also have daily Liz Warren's and Bernie Sanders saying we need more money, which is optically an insane thing to ask for while we're discovering all this waste, fraud, and abuse. And it's essentially what she's doing. It's like if you were married and you got a bill, you got a utility bill, gas and water and electric, and it was like $41,000 for the month, right? And then you said to your wife, like, hey, man, this is insane. You got to shut the windows, turn the thermostat. You open all the windows and turn the thermostat all the way up. The pool's 90 degrees. It's the middle of winter. No one even goes in the pool. You're flooding the front yard. You got like a rice paddy out there. What would you do? We got to dial it back. And she just went, why don't you fucking make some more money and we wouldn't have to deal with this? And I'm like, yeah, or we could shut a window and turn the pool heater off in the middle of December. And so their argument is literally give us more money in the middle of wasting the most money. And I'll play you Liz's clip, which is great, because she's going to explain to us like we're 9 what she could do with Elon's money.
So I've been trying to make this video to show you what wealth inequality looks like in America. I wanted to compare how much wealth the average American has compared to Elon Musk. And I wanted to do it with M&Ms. But it turns out that to make that happen, I need to get 6.5 million M&Ms. That's right. Elon Musk has 6.5 million times more wealth than the typical American. If you were to visualize it, this is you, and this is Elon
All right,
Musk.
so the average American only has 124,000 M&Ms. She doesn't specify whether it's plain or peanut. But I'm surprised the average American has $124,000.
The left ones are full of nuts, so there's the peanut M&Ms.
And Elon has all the M&Ms. And by the way, that's why you don't have as many M&Ms, Dawson, because he took all the M&Ms. You understand? You can't go out and get your own M&Ms. You have to go ask Elon for some M&Ms.
Notice she's not talking about Soros's M&Ms, Heather.
No. So she then decides to pick kernels of rice. Okay, so keep going.
So then I thought, okay, if M&Ms are too much, what if we did it with rice? Turns out we'd need a 350-pound bag of rice.
That is dangerous.
And frankly, it would be a safety hazard.
That's unwieldy. You can't carry
like
that kind of rice, bitch.
Wealth inequality in this country is so out of control, it's hard to even visualize. And that's one of the many reasons why I introduced my wealth tax in Congress. It's a 2-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $50 million mark. And then a 3-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $1 billion mark. You know what we could do?
Hold on a second. You must appreciate this as a Wharton School graduate. The government is the only place that goes the wrong direction percentage-wise, meaning I deal and have dealt quite a bit in high-end car auctions. High-end car auctions, they get paid to auction your car off. They get a percentage. If the sale's under like $100,000, they'll get 12%. But if it's over 100,000, they drop down to like 10%. Right. And if it goes over $1 million, you can negotiate with them. So it goes the other direction, as it should, because that's the world everyone else lives in. And casinos work that way, which is, hey, you want to come and gamble $100,000? We'll comp your room. They don't go gamble $100,000. We'll charge you twice for the room. The LA mansion tax, it's like 4% for houses up to $5 million, but if you get to $10 million, it's 5%. How's that work? And the government can do it because they have guns, but they're the only one who thinks that way. Everyone else should get a break as you go up.
Yeah, well, it's also, they're acting as if like it's theft, as if he has this money somehow because he took it from other people.
M&Ms.
Yeah, and the idea of like, well, what's your cap then? It's like when Billie Eilish made that dumb comment at that award ceremony a few months ago where she was talking about billionaires. I'm like, but you're a millionaire, and I bet you want to make. I don't know how much she's worth, but she's probably worth what, at least $100 million at this point, and you want to be worth hundreds of millions of more dollars, but you're upset about billionaires? No, you're not. It's just because those are the people above you now.
By the way, it was always millionaires. It was millionaires, and Bernie Sanders and Liz Warren, they talked about millionaires their entire career. Somebody could put a clip together that would last 3 days long of them complaining about millionaires, and then someone tapped them on the shoulder and explained, excuse me, Bernie, you're a millionaire. And Liz, you're a millionaire. And they went, okay, I got it. Billionaires. They went from million to billion because they're millionaires.
Yeah.
But she's got a plan for Elon's money, which I want to hear.
Look at make universal child care.
Sorry, go back like 10 seconds.
Build millions of new homes on
That's good.
And that's one of the many reasons why I introduced my wealth tax in Congress. It's a 2-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $50 million mark. And then a 3-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $1 billion mark. You know what we could do with that money? Look at make universal child care a reality. Build millions of new homes and lower housing costs. Lower the Medicare eligibility age.
You couldn't do shit, bitch. You're giving it to Somalis. Elon Musk could do all the shit you're saying you're going to do. He could do it.
Yeah.
You would squander it. Here's what we could do. I love when they do that. We have a dirt bridge that's not complete yet for $120 million just so pumas and butterflies can get over the 101. We got a train that's billions of dollars over budget. You fucking idiots can't do anything. You're going to open hospice places in downtown LA and coin op laundromats and give the money to the Armenians. That's what you fucking guys are going to do with this money. You're not going to do anything with the money. Ironically, you could tell Elon to build a bunch of houses and build us a bridge and build us a bullet train and use your money, and he would actually do it.
Yes.
So I'm not really formally against people giving you money. I'm against them giving you money, you squandering the money, and then complaining you're not getting enough money.
Yeah. Also, all these, I don't think
She can pull any of this off, by the way, with Elon's cat.
I don't think anyone in government should also be on. I just don't think they should be on social media, any of them, the left or the right. I think that like a lot of this messaging where they massage it, like that's where they just brainwash people. And imagine if you were a sitting senator or congressman and you just had to deliver results that people felt instead of just talking into social media.
We'll go back 10 seconds, but listen to all she's going to do with Elon's money. Look what we could have, everybody. Free
Millions
shit
of
for
homes.
everybody.
Every dollar someone has after they hit the $50 million mark. And then a 3-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $1 billion mark. You know what we could do with that money? Look at make universal child care a reality. Build millions of new homes and lower housing costs. Lower the Medicare eligibility age to 55. Deliver universal paid family leave. Establish tuition-free community college. And still have money left over. This is just one way we can start to unrig the economy and lower costs for families.
So if Elon would just pay his fair share, your kid could go to junior college for free. By the way, lots of talk about junior college. My mom, I come from a long line of junior college people. We weren't Wharton material over here. My mom must have set some kind of record. She went to junior college for like 26 years. She had no fucking money. It's $8 a unit or something. Like it's essentially free. So I don't even know what the discussion of like the tuition, like if you can't afford $80 to go to college and fuck off or go figure it out. But she's just going to take your money and then she's going to get all this shit going and it's all going to be free shit and it's always going to work out except for it never does.
Yeah. Well, also nothing's free.
Right.
I hate when they say free.
Right.
That's when you know you're listening to a fraud and a liar when they say the word free over and over again. But also you look at, all you have to do is look at the charts of money spent per kid and you can obviously adjust for what it would cost today. But when you were in school, which wasn't that long ago, because you're so youthful.
Big man on campus. Like it was yesterday.
But like when you were, like when you were in public school, I assume you went to public school, right? So
I was a warehouse, baby.
But like but like when kids went to public school for decades, like when my parents were going to school, the dollar per kid was a fraction of what it is today. The problem is not the money.
No, I know.
It's just not the problem.
I argue that and have always argued that where they go, these are underfunded. I'm like, if the fucking parents got their shit together and did the homework with the kid.
Yes.
Abe Lincoln, I don't know, did he have a laptop? I don't know. He studied by candlelight. Like anyone can do it. It really, the thing, it's kind of interesting. Sorry, back to diet and exercise. But people go like, oh, if I was some rich person like Jennifer Aniston and I could afford a personal trainer. You can afford to eat healthy and exercise. Guys get jacked in prison, for Christ's sake.
That's true.
You can do chin-ups on any tree branch. You can go hike on any trail. You can run on any street. And you can not have a ho-ho or a ding-dong. Just like Jennifer Aniston. You don't need somebody standing next to you to do this stuff. And historically, people have gotten wonderful educations with just one teacher and not this whole unions and bureaucracy and all this bullshit you guys are trying to inject and brainwash everybody. Super easy. And also, when you go to Baltimore, you figure out they spend more there than they do in school systems that do a fuck of a lot better than Baltimore. So where is this connection between finances and results?
Right. But it also just bothers me. You could apply what she's saying about money to many things, but she's acting as if it's a zero-sum game. Like Elon making that money means you're not allowed to make money. Yeah. And that's just not how it works. And so it's the same thing as saying like, someone's fit and you're fat. And so we're going to make the skinny person eat ding-dongs to make them fatter because it makes you feel badly about yourself. That's what it is. You feel badly about yourself. So we're going to pull down those people that are...
Yes. And they do this thing that's like access to information bullshit. It's like every 9-year-old knows the difference between an apple and a donut. They just eat the donut, but they all know it. You know it. It gets beaten into you. Like, you start reaching for the candy. Your mom, no. First we have dinner, then you can have dessert. Like, that's the first. Yeah. You pretty much know that at 5. I'd say you don't have discipline and you don't have delayed gratification, which is the number one thing you need to be successful. So you reach for the donut and then you get angry when the doctor tells you need to lose weight. And then so we yell at the doctor and tell them to stop shaming people into telling them they need to lose weight. But we understand what works. And there is no direct line between money per student and results.
No.
I think if you wanted to really break it down and put it on a scale, I'd say money is worse results.
Probably. Same thing with universities. Look, the admins are super bloated on college campuses now. They've turned into woke madrasas. People are doing like underwater hijab weaving as their majors. And no one learns in college anymore. Very rarely. You have to go, I think you shouldn't go to an Ivy League. And you should go to like a school where you will actually learn a real skill set, because they don't I felt like I caught the last chopper at a nom when I graduated college in terms of having a proper education where you could see the BS rolling in, but it was still a real time to go to college where you had really tough teachers. I remember also I was in college Republicans. I had friends in the college Democrats, and it was a time where we would go to each other's meetings and it was a social event. It was fun and we could like agree and disagree, and it was just like a nice event. Can you imagine today on an Ivy League campus or on any college campus, people doing that, like going to each other's meetings from the left and the right? Not to protest, to actually just sit there.
Yeah, conservative Jews showing up at the Gals for Hillary Clinton club or something
I don't
like
do that. I'm not a lesbian. I wouldn't show up to that.
That wouldn't work. Well,
yeah.
I hear women are more flexible than men. So. All right, Arynne, let me give you a plug before I get on with the next part of the show. You can go to her website because she is touring and she's got dates. And tell everyone how to spell your name. It'll be easier.
It is Arynne, and then Wexler. It's phonetic, Wexler. And no, I did not come up with that name myself. It was given to me.
I like that.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. We got Alicia Krause with the news right after this. O'Reilly, they're in the business of keeping your car on the road. There are not many car issues I can't figure out, but if I'm stumped, I'll call O'Reilly immediately. They've got thousands of parts in stock, either in store or online, so you never have to worry if you're in a jam. You got O'Reilly. They also will test your battery for free, and if it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right one, because there's a lot of different sizes. Whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll see the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are helpful and friendly, and they know their stuff. O'Reilly is your one-stop shop for all things auto do-it-yourself. It's O'Reilly, right, Dawson?
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies and TV shows.
We're coming at you with everything we got.
This is the mindset. Free. This is the mantra. Free. This is the mindset.
With movies like Pineapple Express, the entire Star Trek film franchise, and Gladiator, and TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghosts. Pluto TV is always free. Huzzah! Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Because I remember we played the Jordan Peterson one.
We played that. Did you hear that?
We played both of them?
Played both of them on
Oh, sorry.
both shows.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I asked Joey, and he said we just played the Jordan Peterson one. That's why I got confused.
Alicia, just be aware of that cable. If you hit it, it does.
Oh, this end?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right.
Thanks.
All right, ready to party?
Mm-hmm.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, just heard the whole Carrot Top thing, and just actually saw a show in Vegas, and he does have a whole part where he talks about how Gallagher was a huge influence on him, and he even ended the show smashing a watermelon. It was a fake watermelon with just a bunch of confetti and red streamers, but yeah, he's definitely a fan.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
I heard that Carrot Top just bought Gallagher's pants at a celebrity auction, I guess we'll call it. which is interesting. $1,000
$1,000
for Gallagher pants.
Would you?
I would
you
not.
spend lots of money on cars.
I do. I'm all for people having stuff they're into and collecting stuff of whatever it is. And for some people, God, I'm trying to. You got to look this one up, Dawson. But the Zucker Abrams airplane, police squad, and all that. Zucker, I think, no. Well, airplane and police squad, I've heard of
Oh,
those.
no, but you said Zucker like a very specific airplane police.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the movie Airplane.
Of Zucker.
Okay.
Of
I
airplane.
thought you were talking about like some special G.I. Joe thing.
Homeschooling. Look, the kid.
I know the Leslie line, okay?
Kid will know the New Testament very well and have no idea any historical, cultural references will
I know
will
historical
fall.
references, just not cultural ones.
All right. Zucker I think of Zucker Abrams, Kentucky Fried Movie, all those movies.
Okay.
I think he collects Davy Crockett stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yes, has lots of writings
I've seen that
and things.
one because it was pure and it was old-fashioned Disney, so I was allowed to watch that.
So he has, not from the TV show,
I
but
know, you're
literal
talking about
writings of
OG,
Davy.
yeah.
Filmmaker David Zucker, known for Airplane, and a collector of Davy Crockett memorabilia. Okay, so look.
He and Glenn Beck could hang out because Glenn Beck has a lot of old Americana, like historical
All that stuff. It could be baseballs. I don't care. It could be Barbies. Whatever it is, I'm into car stuff, and so I got a bunch of Paul Newman stuff. But now, here's the other part. People make fun of these people. Like, you paid $2 million for a Pokemon card. I get it, but if the Pokemon card's worth $5 million in 10 years, then...
Like Logan Paul got
Yeah.
shit because he bought some baseball card, then he bought like a hockey stick, and then he went to play hockey with it, and people were like, how dare you?
But people should... if you earn the money, you do whatever you want with it, number one. Number two, are you an idiot for spending a bunch of money for Fonzie's jacket? Like, what do you need Fonzie's jacket for $75,000? Well, if Fonzie's jacket is worth $1.7 million one day, well, then you're not an idiot.
Like those kids that got Trump's signature. It's going to be worth $25,000 one day.
I'm so weird you brought that up. I just got Trump's signature yesterday.
You did? Was it the printed one or was it for real?
While we were sitting around and talking about Trump, talking about the auto pen, a text showed up in my phone, which is him autographing a big article that was on me. By the way, for those who think, Dawson, those think Adam, all Adam thinks about is Adam, and Adam's a sociopath. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. I had a huge article come out on me, huge, a week ago. Have I said a word about it to anybody here?
I've never heard about it.
It's a huge, flattering article, and it's filled with Kevin Costner and Alec Baldwin and Jimmy Kimmel all calling me a genius. I've never said a word about it because it's not really. I don't know.
Where did this come out? I had no idea.
I've never said a
you
word
didn't
about
tweet it. You didn't post it on the gram.
The guy followed me around for 2 weeks.
You didn't say, Alicia, include this in the news.
The guy's like, I need to talk to Alec Baldwin. I need to talk to Kevin Costner. I need to talk to Bill Simmons. I need to talk to Jimmy Kimmel. And I need to talk to everybody about you so I can write this big, long article about you. And God bless them, they all talked. And everyone found the time and blah, blah, blah. And it's been out for 2 weeks. I haven't said a fucking word about it.
And that's what the president signed?
I didn't say a word about any of it, but somehow Donald Trump got hold of this article.
Oh, that's cool.
And then he physically took the paper, and then he signed it.
It's 'cause he reads everything.
You are really great. Keep going, Donald. And then he signed it, and then he sent it to me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the
nice.
man does read everything. Like, it is, he reads and watches everything.
Evidently, he does.
He loves to read, I've heard that he likes to read, a tangible paper. I've heard from so many TV hosts and producers, the president was watching last night. And I'm always like, how do you know? And he's connected to so many people in media. I think he has a love of media. He'll just text them and be like, I saw this segment. I liked this guest. I didn't like that person. It's great.
Yeah, so I just wrote. It was an assistant that sent me this, but I just wrote thanks, flattered, take the time, blah blah blah. But I should have wrote, I know the auto pen when I see it. That's what I should have wrote, and maybe I still
missed opportunity.
It's less than 24 hours. So I could probably text it.
You should totally text him that, or you should text a picture of you like holding it and being like pointing at it like with a.
Well, I don't
face.
physically have it. He took a picture of it and sent it to me. I don't have the actual paper.
So it hasn't arrived yet.
I don't even know if it's going to arrive. I don't know where she knows where to send it.
Okay. Well,
I guess I should ask, right?
yeah, you should ask for that. That'd be cool to frame and hang up amongst
A
all the other cool.
narcissist would not only talk about it, but I would reverse FedEx. I would send a courier to the White House to get that and then get it to me as soon as possible.
I think you should frame it. You have so much old, like, cool paraphernalia from your career on all these walls in the studio for the audience that doesn't know. We should do a behind-the-scenes video of that sometime. And you should add that. You should totally, like, put it in a cool shadow box frame, like nice matte, and hang it up.
Yeah. I'm going to have to hit up his assistant.
And do that.
I guess. Maybe they have a place to send it. I never really discussed the nuts and the bolts of it. He signed it, and then they took a picture of it.
Have your people talk to his people, Adam. That's the way that this
we're
works.
going to have to do it.
Yep.
All right. There's a clip that I love. I guess I quietly appreciate things that are furthest from me.
Okay.
So, and I think maybe we all do, but let's see.
All right.
Let's see. All right. So, if you make a good lasagna, let's say, and somebody goes, "Oh man, my friend makes a great lasagna, and takes her all day. She's 10 hours in the kitchen." And then you have a taste of that lasagna, and you taste it, and you go, "Pretty good," but you make lasagna, and it's maybe not quite as good as yours. And so the other guy who doesn't make any lasagna goes, "Oh my God, 10 hours in the kitchen. That's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing." And I'm sort of like, I could ride a unicycle, so if I see someone riding a unicycle, I kind of go, meh, I feel a way about anything I can do.
Yes.
I just go, But if there's something I can't do, like I go, oh, wow.
That's
like
impressive.
when I say like ladies gymnastics, I go, ooh.
Figure skating.
Yeah, that's great. Ooh. I
like to surf, but I'm not good at surfing.
Yeah.
And I always look at good surfers and I'm like, damn it, how do they make it look so easy?
I have a great appreciation. The further away you get from me doing what I can't do, then I appreciate it more. And if I feel like I could do it, then I realize it has no value.
Unless it's public school teachers, because neither of us want to do that, and we don't have an appreciation for it.
Yes. Well, there's everything that falls in the middle. But there's another side of that, which is when people act in a certain way that I would never do, I'm always, I have a confusion about it. Like, God, please. Like when they just do stuff where you go, I would never like walk up to another table at the restaurant and go, "Excuse you, could you turn your voice down just a little?" Like I go, leave him alone, leave him alone. I saw a clip of someone fighting at a McDonald's, and the fight at the McDonald's was a guy who could be related to Dawson. I'm not sure.
He does look like your long-lost brother.
And a sassy black woman behind the counter. And also, I worked at McDonald's.
You did? You and the president both worked at McDonald's?
Sorry, he pretended to work at a McDonald's. Me and Kamala Harris worked at a McDonald's. Thank you. She has a picture to back it up. So, I worked at McDonald's. And I remember very distinctly before I started, they showed you a training video. And in the training video,
when you go to jury duty, they're like, "This is what you're going to do.
This is what you're going to do.
Yes.
And here's what not to do."
Okay.
I mean, it's such a giant corporation. They have to say you watched a training video, otherwise they're going to get sued by every McDonald's must be getting sued by an employee every 10 seconds.
It's probably more efficient for them to have you watch a training video than to send somebody, like to send a physical rep to every location to train the new guys.
The training video is on a bunch of stuff, but one is what to do if there's a robbery.
Okay.
And I remember, now I'm 16 and I had my sort of Joker jack-off little voice in my head all the time. But I mean, I remember I knew I was a loser working at McDonald's, But I was like, if they try to do some sort of takeover robbery of this place, I'm not going over the counter yelling not on my watch, because the thing is like, don't fight these people. They just give them whatever they want, let them leave. I was like, in my head, I was kidding. I remember at the time I was going, what do you mean? I'll jump in the van with them to get out of here. Like, there's no way I'm doing battle. I'm making $2.75 an hour.
Did you see Roof Man?
No, I haven't seen that yet. It's good?
Pretty good, yeah.
So
sorry, this is what it's making me think of, robbing McDonald's.
All right. So I was like, I'm just giving them whatever they want. But this woman who works at the McDonald's is fighting this guy. So we'll just listen to it. It's pretty good. The guy, I guess he ordered a filet of fish and he got a cheeseburger and he's pissed.
Fix this. No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a refund. I'm going to show you better not to tell you. Well, I want you to look at this. Do you know what it is? How you going to refund me for what you don't know what it is? Man, you got a base man, no. No, I got a double cheese, it don't matter. Fish with extra tartar sauce. That is a cheeseburger. What a filet? That is a cheese. That's a cheeseburger. Where your receipt? It was in that bag right there. I was this night in there. I've been out all day. You do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to tell you something right now. I need a receipt. Open that up. You don't need a receipt. I need a receipt. No, you don't. I need a receipt. You said I'm not bringing this back in here. It don't matter. I'm not going to refund you for nothing that I don't see. What a fillet. What a receipt. I need at least a receipt. This is going to get ugly.
All right, hold on a second. It's already gotten ugly, but see, I work with McDonald's, so I'm like, okay, listen, let me give you 5 filet fish. Just wait outside, would you please? We'll bring it out there. Like at this loud fucking battle that only dumb people can have.
I feel like this person started recording after something had already happened, though. I mean, he sounds like
Dawson's cousin.
To be fair, it was Lent when this happened.
Yeah, when the filet of fish.
The fish.
All right, well, keep playing. There's a great thing. She also schools him up on like tartar sauce or something. It's kind of funny.
I need at least a receipt. This is going to get ugly. Okay, well, let it get ugly. And you don't need to just have that plate. Let it get ugly. Open it up and listen to me. I got to open up that. That's a cheeseburger. I know. I see what it is. Tartar sauce on it. And that ain't tartar sauce. That's Big Mac sauce. Know your sauce.
I love the fact where she gets all sassy and yells, know your sauces.
Know your sauces.
Know your sauces. That's her rallying cry. Like, God, someone's got to put that on a T-shirt.
I'm going to cross-stitch that.
Can you please go back 10
know
seconds.
Your
I gotta say, like, they're getting it. By the way, he's going to make it ugly. She's like, bring it. I'm getting
I
$11
wonder how many
an hour.
idiots she had to deal with all day to make her this upset at this one guy. I bet you she's just dealing with assholes.
I just
all day
like
long.
when she schooled him on sauces. Sauces. All right.
What a receipt. I need at least a receipt. This is going to get ugly. Okay, well, let it get ugly. And you don't need to just have that plate. Let it get ugly. Open it up and listen to me. I got to open up that. That's a cheeseburger. I know. I see what it is. Tartar sauce on it. And that ain't tartar sauce. That's Big Mac sauce. Know your sauce.
All right, you can pause it there. What kind of sauce is it?
You look at it.
It's not tartar sauce.
She says it's a Big Mac sauce.
Oh, know your sauce.
Know your sauce. That's Big Mac sauce. It's actually called special sauce.
Is it called special sauce?
You're talking to a guy who's applied 70 gallons of that in 6 months with a caulking gun.
I know that.
By the way, comes in a
from the
gun.
song.
Stop.
You got to think about McDonald's. Like, what do you think? I'm back there with a whisk, making it by hand.
Now they claim that it's like never frozen, always fresh. Like
maybe all those things, but it's in a caulking gun.
I don't like the special sauce. I prefer like if I go somewhere and I want the special sauce, it's like Chick-fil-A sauce. Is what it's
you
at.
don't know your sauces. All right.
No, I do know my sauces. I know what sauces I prefer.
Well, you don't know tartar from Big Mac sauce.
I just feel like what grown man needs to escalate that much if he's pissed over
I
getting a
agree.
cheeseburger?
I agree with that part, but I'm still the person that works at McDonald's is going to be, fuck it, whatever this guy. I'm getting out of here in half an hour. Like,
but I
this
wonder
guy could
what
shoot me.
Yeah, I think that she had a lot of interactions like this one throughout the day, and she's like, I'm not giving this MFer a discount.
I think you're being too easy on her. I don't care. it's not your McDonald's. See, the whole thing about people is like, I worked at McDonald's. I didn't think it was my McDonald's. I was just there getting $3 an hour. I wasn't going to fight anyone over anything.
But so you would let that guy, you'd just be like, here's your money?
I would, because
what did the video tell you to do?
It's not my money. It's McDonald's money, and they got enough money. And I want to. This guy's a threat,
that sounds
and I
very
want
woke of you.
I want to get him out of my face.
They have enough money.
This guy's big. She's small, and he's threatening me, and I want to defuse the situation. So I just gave him a quarter pounder, a Big Mac, a filet of fish, and a large fry, and I sent him out the door.
Sent him on his way.
Yes. Hims, hair loss does not fix itself, and the earlier you act, the better. Hims makes starting simple with a 100% online process and personalized treatment plans delivered straight to you. I recently signed up, and it was the simplest thing I'd ever done. Just answered a couple of questions, and they'll send you the medication. They have flexible subscription options and access to 24/7 provider support. Hims gives you personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Trust me, you'll feel a lot better with the hairline right where it should be. It's Hims, right, Dawson?
For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/Adam. That's hims.com/Adam for your free online visit. hims.com/Adam. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies and TV shows.
We're coming at you with everything we got.
This is the mindset. Free. This is the mantra. Free. This is the mindset.
With movies like Pineapple Express, the entire Star Trek film franchise, and Gladiator, and TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghosts, Pluto TV is always free. Huzzah! Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
All right, news. For you.
So Jennifer Seibel, is that how you say it? Seibel Newsom? It's just as cray-cray as her husband.
Mm-hmm.
This video has been floating around where she talks about really an awful tragedy that I did not know, where her older sister, when she was 8 and Jennifer was 6, was accidentally killed in a golf cart accident.
Yep.
Which is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there. But the rest of this video is just insane, the stuff that comes out of her mouth.
Well, she's equally nuts as Newsom, and he has horrible, retarded, destructive thoughts as she does, and super liberal thoughts. But as a politician and a dude, he can measure them a little bit. She's not a politician, and she's a chick, so she just spits it. She just spits it out.
You think he measures all of his comments when he just disagrees with somebody and calls them gay or insinuates that they're a child predator?
He does a better job of measuring. When he sits down with Ben Shapiro and they start talking about women and men and sports, he catches himself and
a
does.
Little bit.
Well, listen to me. Stop arguing with me. He does a better job, not a good job. Just he can measure himself because he's a politician. He's a dude. He can measure.
But when he's with people that agree with him, I think the crazy really comes out. And
yeah,
I think in this situation, she's sitting with somebody. She's not sitting with you or Ben Shapiro. She's sitting with somebody that's nodding along and agreeing with her.
But she also will say a higher percentage of insane things out loud. That's all I'm saying. Or you can argue. You can say
this is pretty
a lower
insane.
percentage.
This thing she's about to say is very insane.
All right, here we go.
I had to be very raw when we interviewed the young men who were juvenile offenders in San Quentin. I told them about my own loss, where I lost my older sister a few days before my 7th birthday, and I blamed myself for her death. And I share that.
By the way, hold on. That is the whitest thing ever, killed by a golf cart. These other guys, they're all in San Quentin, they're all juveniles, so they all lost their sister to a stray bullet with gang activity or something. Nobody got run over. That is a white person problem.
To me, we should almost tick off how many crazy things are that she says, because it's like, what loss is she talking about crimes that they committed? Like, if they murdered somebody, is it really a loss?
They do this, you know what it is? A lot of Muslims are being discriminated because some people did something. Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean radicals flew commercial airliners into financial centers and killed 3,000 people? Some people, something.
That's the first crazy thing that she said.
That's what they do.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
I lost my older sister a few days before my 7th birthday, and I blame myself for her death. And I share that because that they ultimately were accused of committing these violent crimes and sentenced for life. And I think it shocked them that this, blonde lady who was, interviewing them had a similar story, was perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Insane thing number 3.
But
insane thing number 3
I
right
went
there.
down, and many of these kids had killed a Korean liquor store owner by running him over with a golf cart by mistake. And now they're in San Quentin.
And she
it's
has a similar
story. Right. Everything was a mistake. They're all there.
If we're going to circle back to narcissistic behavior as well, like talking about her appearance as she's talking about trying to help these young men in prison.
She's a white person with blonde hair. So there's more here. So she's clinically insane. By the way, this is why you don't want any of these people in power, because she would let all of them out.
Because they're similar to her.
Right. They just made a mistake.
It was perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time, but wasn't punished the way they were, because clearly it was an accident, but theirs was probably an accident too. So anyway, I share that just because I guess, I quite enjoy spending time with people and being real and unmasking.
She unmasked.
And showing them that it's safe to unmask
There's
themselves.
a lot of makeup for someone who's unmasking. All right, so I would love to just go down the rap sheet of these fucking guys, like stabbed a stranger in the neck on a bus.
Yes.
Ran over somebody after they were trying to steal their cattle.
There was an accident. And,
yeah.
And the only reason they're there is because they're not a white blonde woman.
And there's a lot of it's timing. You're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Remember the city council woman or the...
Was it up in Seattle?
No, this is Chicago. This is the one who was talking... It's the ombudsman or whatever. Who was that? Sorry. Andrew will know. But remember Chicago? That chick was up there and they're like, well, she was just out enjoying the lake at night. Wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. Yeah, she was murdered by an illegal, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Alder woman. Sorry.
Oh.
Alder woman. Remember?
That was talking about that poor young lady that was murdered.
It's like, it could have been you or me. It was just a little bad timing going on out there. Yeah, she was just murdered, gunned down,
by
killed,
an illegal immigrant.
executed in the back by an illegal immigrant, but wrong place, wrong time. And we don't know what happened. I mean, maybe she went out to the pier and startled the young lad.
So remember last week when we were
Jesus Christ. These people are not going to fucking rest until every homicidal maniac is running the streets.
Well, and it's very interesting that their narrative has changed from don't blame the victim to blaming the victim.
Yes.
And last week we played that clip of Amber Rose and Nick Cannon talking about how she's hardcore conservative now. And ironically, maybe 12 years ago, she did kind of like the, what was it? It was
Slut March.
The Slut March.
I was a Grand Marshal. I rode in a convertible Miata.
And I remember at the time, a lot of conservatives were like, wait, what the heck? We're okay with women dressing like sluts now. But her point was, it's not, you can't make the short skirt. It was the woman's fault argument. And at that time, before she became more conservative, she was saying that was what conservatives did.
Right.
Oh, how the turns have tabled, to quote Michael Scott, that now it is literally the left that is saying, well, it's that poor young woman's fault. They didn't even say poor young woman. It's just her fault for being where she was when she was. It's not their fault for having a porous border that lets violent, illegal criminals in.
Yeah.
It's the victim's fault.
Yeah. Andrew, you were saying it the other day, but many have said it, the sort of short mini skirt argument. She shouldn't have been wearing that if she didn't want to get raped, which is something they argue against all the time, but it's what they do now. We have the clip of...
the Chicago...
Mariah Haddon, Chicago alderwoman. Yeah, it's all the same speech. It's all some... It's some people did something.
That was Ilhan Omar that said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one of my
Some
faves.
people did something, and now they're... Now, by the way, and now the Muslims are the victim because white guys called him a towel head or something versus being dead. But this is her, which is great.
We're out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally.
Startled the person on the pier.
So if I startle a man with a gun on the streets of LA, is
allowed
Mayor
to
Bass
shoot you.
going to be like, you know what? She was asking for
Only
it.
if you're running away screaming and he shoots you in the back.
Okay. But I might have startled him.
Somebody did something.
You know, if somebody jumps over my fence and then I threaten them with a gun and then they start to run away and I shoot them in the back, I would go to jail.
Oh, yeah.
But that guy gets defended by idiot politicians after murdering a young woman. That's lovely.
Yeah, that's how they love. They have to. They've been put in an unenviable position, which is they let in a bunch of illegals, and then they declared their cities and states sanctuary cities and states, and then the illegals they let in who are seeking sanctuary in their states are killing Americans, and now they're in a weird position that they have to defend the illegal killers because that was their idea and really the reason these people are dead.
Do you think that our first person, or what is it? What does she call herself?
Partner.
First partner thinks that she appears genuine in these videos? It's kind of like when Gavin said that he was coming to LA to work on the homeless problem and he didn't meet a homeless person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they haven't been to the Dream Center. Ivanka frickin' Trump has been to the Dream Center, meeting homeless people and handing out food. And they say that they care, but not seeing you do anything that actually shows that you care.
The optics are always weird. Like, remember during COVID and Nancy Pelosi was on, like, Jimmy Fallon's show, and she's like, let me show you my 2 walk-in Sub-Zero refrigerators whose combined worth is way more than your family's worth. I like chocolate. I like imported chocolate.
Yep.
I like special chocolate. It's like everyone else is sitting.
It's easy to stay at home.
Everyone else is sitting in their 1-bedroom apartment with no air conditioning, planning on getting divorced and day drinking. And she's giving us Willy Wonka's factory tour. And like someone had to say, bitch, literally, that is more refrigerator than most people's net worth.
Yes.
And maybe optically with all the insider trading and everything, like maybe that's not, maybe you should go out to the garage.
As you sit on Billionaire Row.
Right.
Behind gates and armed security.
Right.
Get a little
I don't
perspective.
know why people don't say, you know, you dress to the nines lecturing people on what it's like to lose somebody or whatever. It's just, it's all kind of gross.
I think that we are all guilty of listening to the own confirmation bias that we want to hear and living in our own bubble. Left, right, and center.
I get it, but we don't have handlers. Like people, consultants. You know,
True.
consultants have to go like.
Consultants are just there for the paycheck, though. They don't give a shit about like.
But they should also be like going to the French Laundry in the middle of a pandemic is just not. It's not worth it.
I
Just
agree,
don't do it.
But when you're in that bubble where everybody else wants to be in that crowd and hang out and do those things, and you yourself as a consultant want to be able to do those things, you're not going to ruffle or, you know, as my grandma used to say, like, you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you.
Well,
so
that's
they sit
why
there and they nod and they tell her that she's doing a great job comparing her childhood tragedy to murders on death row at San Quentin, and they don't realize that the general public is like, what the actual...
This is why the job title needs to be changed. When I started my morning show, taking over for Howard Stern, we had Jimmy Kimmel as a consultant, but his job was as an insultant. He would come in and go, "Gosh, today's show sucked. Adam, you talked about vintage car race for 22 minutes. I timed it. That you're boring the shit out of everyone." So really what you need is an insultant.
Okay.
And that insultant would go, you're not going to come up there dressed like Barbie, wearing 20 grand worth of jewelry, and then tell people about the haves and the have-nots and all that. And Gavin Newsom, you can stay at home and I'll go get you some French Laundry. What's your favorite soup? And I'll bring it back to your mansion. But you're not going to sit in a group in the middle of a terrace with 28 other people with everyone's got a fucking phone and they're going to film you after you've locked everyone in their own house. No. Now, that's a retarded idea. You go home. I'll go to the French Laundry.
So what you're saying,
and get checked. It's an insult.
You see, liberals need conservatives. We should start a side hustle.
Insultant.
We volunteer as tribute to be the conservative insultants for liberals.
Yes.
Only if they pay really well.
All right, one more story.
One more story. So Billy Bush recently claimed that ABC had apparently 75 people in a division to, quote unquote, get Donald Trump back during the 2016 election.
Mm-hmm.
He made the shocking claim on a recent episode of, oh, hey, my former boss's show, Sean Hannity, where he revealed that ABC allegedly had that department, and the Access Hollywood alum dish that ABC News thought that they and he knows about it because he knew the guy that ran it. He said it was dedicated to basically getting Trump, and the big network news all have different voices all over politics, but not them at the time. Here he is.
Determination to find something. Yeah. Imagine going around asking that question. Who has something? Who has, there's evil in that.
ABC
even if it's somebody that we don't like.
They had a division dedicated with 75 people in it, because I know the guy who ran the division, which was dedicated to basically getting him. Wow. And all the big network news did. I understand all of that. Like, what you can do, they have a voice, and different networks have different voices.
All right. The thing, this is all fine, except for the part where at a certain point when Trump is being interviewed by Leslie Stahl or some Ted Cruz type comes in and goes, look, I get it. I know how you vote. Sir, I'm a journalist. How dare you assume that you don't know how I vote? Like, listen, that's all you do.
Remember back
all you guys do is go after Trump. It's literally, when you look at those things, it's like 97% negative reporting on Trump, 3% positive. Kamala Harris, 94% positive, 6% negative. It's everyone knows what's going on but you.
Yeah, well, and it's not just Trump. This is going back years and years and years. I mean, remember back to the Candy Crawley, shushing Mitt Romney?
Yes.
When he was rebutting and following debate rules against Barack Obama?
He duct taped a dog to the roof of his car and killed it.
His binder full of women.
Binder. He keeps women in a binder. And then he shaved that gay kid's head in high school, except for we can't find that kid. That kid's probably living with Kamala Harris's McDonald's manager somewhere in seclusion. Jesus Christ.
I think what's sad, though, is that this stuff keeps coming out. I mean, we had the NPR whistleblower after the CEO of NPR was like, oh, no, we're fair and we're balanced, and please don't take away our tax dollars. We represent the local communities, yada, yada. And then you have all these former NPR employees recently saying, no. It is such a bias behind the scenes. I think my frustration is we talk about this. Sean's talking about this. But you still have a vast majority of the American public that doesn't understand this.
Well, that's the part. It's so blatantly obvious if you just watch their coverage, how they vote and who they're rooting for and who they endorse, whether they say it out loud or not. All right, this Friday and Saturday, Salt Lake City, Utah. Wise Guys Comedy Club, 6, 8:30. A couple of shows Friday, a couple of shows Saturday. And then Sunday, San Diego. Solana Beach, Dawson's going to be there. Jonathan Kite's going to be there. Rudy's going to be there. We'll do a live show there at the Belly Up. And then we'll see Alicia Krause in Phoenix coming up. Desert Ridge Improv. 5 shows there. Merch store. We got a lot of good stuff there. You can check that out. Alicia Krause, give you a plug.
Daily Wire, Instagram, X.
And Arynne Wexler on tour right now at Arynne Wexler. She told you how to spell it. .com. Until next time, it's time for Aaron and Alicia saying mahalo.